Good morning, guys. So, today I want to talk about taking time to smell the roses. And when I say taking time to smell the roses, I mean like taking time to understand how to balance and not burn yourself out in your fitness journey. And I know there are some of you guys that have failed in your fitness journey due to burnout. Like, you had the right program, you had the right blueprint, but you never gave yourself time to kind of take a break. And then once you kind of get to that point to where you finally take a break, you never get back on track because the pain of burning out again, or the pain of going to the gym, or the pain of, kind of getting punched in the face again, and feeling horrible because you didn't give yourself a break, and that's what you think it takes to lose 30 to 100 pounds. You never get back on track, right? Now, I've been in the same boat. I've coached over 300 clients. I just had a client literally text me yesterday letting me know that he's 3 pounds away from being down 100 pounds in the program. And so, I know what I'm talking about because I've worked with a lot of clients. And I know what I'm talking about because I've messed up myself personally more than any client who's ever come into the program. I've worked with a lot of coaches, a lot of good coaches, a lot of bad coaches, a lot of coaches who said, you gotta grind, you gotta grind culture is like, you gotta push yourself and you gotta keep going and you gotta, just keep going no matter what, right? And then I've had coaches where they're like, look, here's the balance, keep it smooth, keep it relaxed. And then, I got too relaxed, right? Because you do need that mental edge to get magnificent results. So, when we talk about taking time to smell the roses, this past week, Tuesday was my girlfriend's birthday. Happy birthday to her. And at first, I was stressed with this week coming up because I was like, I gotta work, I gotta work out, I gotta go to the gym, I gotta this, that, the third. And I was kind of stressed out. And so I took half the week off to spend time with her. And I have more mental clarity. I feel better. I feel amazing. But when I say I took the week off, I took the week easy. I didn't just stop work. I messaged my clients every day. That's my standard, right? And so before I get into what I did is I'm going to tell you guys, you need standards when you take time to smell the roses, when you take time to appreciate the work that you did, because you don't want to lose 30 pounds or lose 40 pounds or lose 50 pounds and do nothing with it, right? When I went into my fitness journey, the first 3 to 5 years, and I've been doing this for almost 10 years, the first 3 to 5 years, all I did was work out 1 to 2 hours, 3 hours a day. My first 6 months in the gym, I worked out literally 2 to 4 hours a day. I wasn't social, I didn't have friends. And so, a lot of people bring themselves from one prison to another. They bring themselves from this prison to where you have low energy, you work these 10 to 12 hour days, you're always exhausted, you have lower back pain, your knees hurt, your ankles hurt, you're 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight, maybe even 100 pounds overweight, and your clothes don't fit, right? That's prison number 1. And so you decide to take care of your fitness journey and you put yourself into prison number 2. You're stuck in the gym 1 to 2 hours a day, you're burnt out, you're exhausted, you lose weight, but you're eating chicken, broccoli, and rice, you don't really know how sustainable this is, and you don't go to social functions. And me, I teach my clients how to go from prisons to freedom, how to lose weight, right? And how to enjoy their life. And it takes a lot of skills. But more than skills is it takes a lot of standards, okay? And so I want to tell you a story about my client David when he came to me, right? David came to me, he had lost 20 or 30 pounds on his own up into that point. But he was really struggling. He did jujitsu. That's how I met him. Funny enough, I actually met David in person, but he didn't realize when he reached out to me on Facebook that I was the guy that he met in person. I actually met him at his first jujitsu competition. But he was over 300 pounds, and he wanted to get, lose weight away from the super heavyweight division. And he had a son, he has a job, right? He works from home, so he's super sedentary. And he just couldn't lose weight, man. He didn't know what to do with the nutrition. He didn't know how to lift weights, what to do if he even went to the actual gym. He was very center focused. He was not multifaceted when it came to losing weight, which is what you have to be to make this a lifestyle and to be flexible with it. And so he came to me, he was like, look, whatever it takes, I'm going to do it. He said, I'm not going to argue, just tell me what to do, I'm going to do it without questions, and if I do have questions, I'll ask. And now he's down 100 pounds total between the 20 or 30 pounds that he lost before the program and where he's at now. He's down 100 pounds. He's away from the ultra heavyweight division, and he's a monster. He's a freaking beast with jiu-jitsu as well. So, and he's super strong. He lifts 2 to 3 times more than me already. So that was David. But with David, he was nervous because halfway through the program, he actually took a cruise. He went on a cruise. He went on vacation with his son. And one rule that I have with my clients is if you have a vacation and you want to, enjoy time, is you have to have certain standards to follow that allow you to enjoy the vacation without putting on 30 pounds in a week, right? That's an exaggeration, but putting on 10 pounds in a week is more than doable if you've lost 50 pounds in your fitness journey and you go from a deficit to a super surplus because you're eating, drinking, alcohol, partying, staying up late. Like, it's very easy, and then you don't get your steps, and then you don't work out, right? It's very simple and very easy to gain that amount of weight. So I told him, I was like, dude, at this point he was down like 50 or 60 pounds in the program. I was like, bro, you have to enjoy this time, because if you don't enjoy this cruise, which you don't go on very often, you're going to regret it, because a six-pack is not, a six-pack, getting a six-pack, 2, 3, 4, 6 months earlier than we're planning on getting it, and not enjoy the cruise is not worth it. Enjoying the cruise and they're gonna get a six-pack, 3 months later is worth it, right? Because you gotta enjoy life, you gotta enjoy these moments. And so I had that conversation, and he was like, okay, what can I do? So I was like, these are your standards. 2 workouts a week, Monday and Thursday. Walk 10,000 steps, which will be easy because you're on a cruise ship. Those things are huge. You're gonna be walking everywhere. Eat around maintenance, right? And if you don't want to, track your calories, fast. Have 2 meals. That's it. So have 2 meals, walk 10,000 steps a day, work out 2 days a week. Just do those 2 days, do 100 burpees. That's literally the standards I gave him. These are like vacation, like very minimal, like this is all you focus on to maintain your weight. And he ended up gaining like a pound, and then the next week after he got back dialed in after the vacation, he lost like 3 more pounds once he got dialed in again. So it literally made no effect. But if he didn't enjoy the vacation, and let's say he lost 2 pounds on the vacation, and then another, 1 to 2 pounds when he got back, he would have only lost like 2 extra pounds versus what he ended up losing, right? Just would make no sense. And so that was like his version of enjoying, smelling the roses, enjoying the results that we were getting. He was super confident. He was down a size in his gym shorts. He could take his shirt off confidently. And so for you guys, you guys gotta ask yourself. And this conversation is for the guys who have been grinding. This is not a conversation for the guys who haven't even started, who are like, oh, I'll go really hard for 6 months and then I'll like pre-plan taking a day off. Like, you guys who haven't even started, you guys need to just start. Like, you guys don't need to be thinking about, well, I'm gonna take a break here, right? But for you guys who are just starting and you have a vacation around the corner, those standards that I gave David, you could actually use those, right? But this is not for the guys who have been holding it off for 3 years and are looking for an excuse to make it so easy to where you don't actually get results. You know what I mean? And you guys know who I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. And so the way to do this and the way to have that balance so you don't get burned out, like I said, look, I had hibachi yesterday. I had fried rice the day before. Me and my girl went to a Greek restaurant 2 days ago for her birthday. She had ice cream, I had ice cream. Like, we were doing these things and we were really enjoying it. And I stepped on the scale, and the funny thing is I didn't gain or lose a single pound, whether the hibachi or the ice cream, none of it, because I only ate twice and I fasted. I followed the same standards as my clients, and I also did my workouts. I worked out. I did 10 sets of squats and a 1.5 mile run yesterday, a little bit over 1.5 miles, almost 2 miles. The day before that, I did 300 push-ups and some side raises. The day before that, I did a 3-mile run and 100 pull-ups, maybe 110 pull-ups. Right, so I was still doing my workouts that I normally did, but it wasn't like I was like grinding, working 24/7. I wasn't tracking my macros. I didn't track anything, but I had standards. And this video is not scripted. I just, I got out of the shower and I was just thinking about, reflecting on my time. I'm like, why did I not gain weight? And what can we learn from this? And then I thought about David, and I was like, well, he didn't gain weight either. And I realized subconsciously, just because I teach so many clients these principles every single day, I just subconsciously followed them, right? And it worked. I didn't gain any weight. I didn't lose any weight, but I didn't gain any weight. I maintained, right? And my client Brian is down 100 pounds. And usually during this busy season of his career and his job, he usually gains 10 pounds over the course of 2 months. It's been 2 months and he's gained 0 pounds. He's like in a range between 1 and 3 pounds over and under. He's maintaining, right? But we have standards. And that's really what it comes down to. If you guys want balance, you guys got to be disciplined in a different way with your standards. I don't want you to be in this prison of feeling freaking miserable. And I don't want you to be in this prison of feeling miserable, right? I don't want you to be in this prison where you're like, you know, you're so focused on like your job and stuff where you gain so much weight, you're so, you know, low confidence in yourself, your joints ache and you're just unhealthy. But I also don't want you to be in this camp where you're like so over obsessive with your fitness journey, you know, to where you have aches and pains from lifting too much, you never take days off, you run too much, you have no time for your family, you know, you're over obsessive with it. But I don't want you to be over obsessed with it with, I don't want you to be super disciplined. Because you guys are still going to have to be in a position, in a place where you're going to have to do things you don't want to do. And I've had 2 clients this or last month come into the program. And I'm going to be honest, they thought they were going to come into the program. And they were kind of like in the middle, but closer to like okay with being over, or like being out of shape, because they weren't like super overweight. And they didn't really have a good motivation. And you know, one guy had to fire him from the program, right? Because he was like, I'm not going to follow the program. Like, you know, I'm just so busy. I was like, do you really want this? And he was like, not really. I was like, okay, so leave, right? Because he thought that he was just going to get results. Like the program was going to be so easy, he was going to get results. The program is very simple and it fits for, you know, people who work in 10, 12-hour days. It works, but you have to want it to work. You have to want to put in the effort in some form or capacity, right? And the other client was like super confused. He's like, well, I thought because, you know, on YouTube and TikTok, you said like you can get in amazing shape. I was like, well, you still have to put in effort, you know? You have to put in effort. You have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined in a way to where you enjoy it and you don't burn out, right? So don't think because I don't want you to be obsessed and like sacrifice your relationship with your wife that I mean that you can just be lazy and lose weight. That's not what this is about. But I do want that balance to where you're like super disciplined in this area, you build the right habits, and then but you're able to enjoy some fruits of your labor from getting these results here after the fact, right? And so my rule of thumb is like be super like stupid discipline until it's time to take a break. Like Monday through Friday, I'm like, besides this week, like Monday through Friday, I'm like working 12 to 15 hour days. Saturday, I'll work like half a day, and Sunday I'm off. But when I come up with an opportunity like my girlfriend's birthday to where she's like, yo, can you take 3 days to work half days and like kind of relax? Yes, because I've just spent the past 6 months working 12 to 15 hour days and then a 6 hours day, you know, once a week. On top of the 12 to 15 hour days, 5 times a week. And I'm like, yes, let's do it. And that's the times to actually smell the roses. But even when you're smelling the roses, you got to be disciplined in some form or capacity. You have to. You can't just let everything go. You have to have standards. And a good baseline of standards is like, just so you know you don't blow it, absolutely blow it. If you want to drink alcohol, 2 drinks, that's it. Like the alcohol rule is 2 drinks 2 times a week while you're on vacation. Okay? I call it the two item rule. 2 meals a day, 2 workouts a week, 2 drinks 2 times a week. If you can keep that in mind, write that down. The next time you want to, you guys might be like super busy with your work schedule, and this could literally help you guys lose your first 5 to 10 pounds. If you're like 270, 280 pounds and you're like super overweight, it's very easy to lose weight. So if you just follow these principles, like you should be able to lose your next 5 pounds just doing this. 2 workouts a week, okay? 2 workouts, 2 days a week, Monday and Thursday. 2 drinks, 2 times a week. If you like to go out, this is more for vacation. I don't recommend drinking alcohol more than once a month, to be honest, and that's celebratory. Okay, and then walking 10 to 12,000 steps a day, and fast for 6 hours. Like wake up, don't eat for the first 6 hours of waking up, and eat whole food meals. If you follow that blueprint, you follow that framework, you can lose weight. Now, with that blueprint and framework, like I give my clients meal templates, I set their calories for them, I set their workouts and their nutrition, and I give them a grocery list and an eating out cheat sheet, and I like hook my clients up with all the resources, and I, you know, schedule it out all for them based on where they're at, what they need, what their weak points are in their physique, what their goals are, what their weight is, what their schedule is. I do that for you. But if you want the rough framework, like you could use that to get results for a lot of you guys. But you have to have standards. You have to be disciplined with it. So that is how you guys are going to go from being super miserable, out of shape, to being super awesome, badass, in shape. without being overextended and burnt out and feeling miserable once again, right? So, if you guys have any questions, message me on Instagram or TikTok. I'm back on Instagram. I would say I don't really post on there, but I'm not active on my stories. I'm active on my stories, and I take you guys through my day on TikTok. But I'll answer on Instagram. So message me on Instagram or TikTok at BT Shreds, and I will talk to you guys then. If you guys have any questions about anything I talk about on these stories or on these videos, you just ask. So, hope you guys have the best of your entire life. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.